Good morning, student. Ninth standard social science, geography unit 8, disaster management, responding to disaster. This is the last lesson for in geography. First of all, what is disaster? A disaster is a serious problem occurring over a short or long period of time that causes widespread human, material, economic, or environmental losses which exceeded the ability of the affected community or society to cope using its own resource. Disaster can be caused by natural, man-made, and technological hazards as well as various factors that influence the expose and vulnerability of a community. Learning objectives to face off disaster management to understand how to respond to disasters such as tsunami, earthquake, riot, and fire. To describe the measure to manage riot disaster. Introduction. Humans have passed down stories through the ages that helped culture to cope when disaster inevitably struck. This story were food for anthropologists and social scientists, but in the past decade, geologists have begun to pay more attention to how indigenous people understood and prepared for disaster. A disaster is a catastrophe that causes create damage or loss of life and property. Disaster response. Disaster response entails restoring physical facilities, rehabilitation of affected population, restoration of lost livelihood, and a reconstruction effort to restore the infrastructure lost or damaged. The response phase focused primarily on emergency relief, saving life, providing first aid, restoring damaged system, and meeting the basic life requirement of those impacted by disaster, that is food, water, and shelter, and providing mental health and spiritual support and care. Who are the first responder? On a daily basis, police officers, firefighter, and emergency medical technician or a community's a first responder, whether during a fire, flood, or act of terrorism. Mental health professional and the community's hospital may also be activated in those early minutes and hours after disaster. Disaster management. Disaster management include prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. Disaster management involve all level of government. It include pre-disaster planning and preparedness activities, organizational planning, training, information management, public relation, and many other fields. Crisis management is important, but is only a part of responsibility of a disaster managers. Disaster management cycle. The traditional approach to disaster management has a number of phase sequence of action or a continuum. This can be represented as a disaster management cycle. We mainly focus on the way how the community should respond to disaster. Disaster management cycle: disaster, rescue or relief, rehabilitation, reconstruction, planning, prevention, mitigation, and preparedness. First, natural disaster: earthquake. An earthquake is a sudden vibration of the part of the earth caused by plate movement. It occurs along the plate boundaries inside the earth, that is internal part of the earth. The place inside the earth where an earthquake originates is focus. The point of the earth's surface above called as focus is called an epicenter. Earthquake is measured by an instrument called a seismogram. What to do during an earthquake? Minimize your movement to few steps that reach a safe place nearby and stay indoor until the shaking has stopped and you are sure existing safe. That is, you are in indoor means what you are do. Drop to the ground. Take cover by getting under a sturdy table or other piece of furniture and hold on until the shaking stop. Protect yourself by staying under the lintel of an inner door, in the corner of room, under a table or even under a bed. Stay away from glass window, outside doors and walls and anything that could fall. Stay inside until the shaking stop and go outside. If you in outdoor means what you do? Move away from building, trees, street and utility wires. If you are in open space, stay there until the shaking stop. The greatest danger exists directly outside building at exist and alongside exterior walls. If in moving vehicle means what you do? Stop as quickly as safe permits. Avoid stop near or under building, trees, overpass and utility wires. Proceed cautiously when the earthquake has stopped. To use avoid roads, bridge or ramp that might have been damaged by the earthquake. Tsunami. A tsunami can kill or injure people and damage or destroy building and infrastructure as waves come forth and recede. A tsunami is a series of enormous ocean waves caused by earthquake, underwater landslide, volcanic eruption, or asteroid. Tsunamis can travel nearly 7,000 to 8,000 kilometers per hour with waves 10 to 30 meters high. It causes flooding and disturb transportation, power communication, and water supply. Do you remember 2004 tsunami in India? It occurred in Indian Ocean or Indonesia. How to respond to tsunami? You should out if your home, school, workplace, or other frequently visited location are in tsunami hazard areas along the seashore. Plan evacuation route from your home, school, workplace, or any other place you could be where tsunami pose a risk. Use a weather radio or stay tuned to a local radio or television station to keep informed of local watching and warning. Discuss tsunami with your family. Everyone should be aware of what to do when tsunamis strike. What do after tsunami? You should continue to using weather radio or stay tuned to a Coast Guard emergency frequency station or local radio, a television station for update emergency information. Check yourself for injuries and get first aid if necessary before helping injured or trapped person. Need to be rescued, call professional with the right equipment to help. Who required special assistance like infant, elderly people, that is child, elderly people, those who without transportation, large families who may need additional help in emergency situation, people with a disability and the people who care for them. Stay out of your building if water remain around it. Tsunami water, like flood water, can undermine foundation, causing building to sink, floor to crack, or wall to collapse. Check for gas leak. If you smell gas or hear a blowing or hissing noise, open your window and get everyone outside quickly. Next topic, riot. The riot may seem dramatic, an angry mob or people can be just as dangerous and unpredictable as just about any natural disaster. Thousands of people are killed in riot all over the world each year. These riots erupt from a number of racial, religious, economic, political, or social causes that can be predetermined. If you put yourself in the middle of riot, you may not be able to run away. What do you do? Now see, if you catch in a riot, what will you do? If you find yourself catch up in a demonstration, keep to the edge of the covered where it is safer. When leaving the front of the demonstration, just walk away. Don't run, as this will draw attention to you. In the event that you are arrested by the police or military, do not resist. If you are catch up in the crowd, stay clear of glass shop front. Moreover, move with the flow. If shooting break out, drop to the ground and cover your head and neck and lie as flat as you can. Surveying a riot. Keep side by side of the current news if you are in a volatile area. If you come across demonstration, don't become inquisitive. Just leave the area and find another route to your intention destination. Avoid many places where police or security force action is progress. Next topic, fire. Wildfire occur when vegetated area are set alight are particularly common during hot and dry period. Fire can lead to destruction of building, wooden bridge and pole, power transmission and telecommunication line, warehouse containing oil, product and other fuels. It causes injuries to people and animal. The most common causes of fire are lightning strike, spark during arid condition, eruption of volcanoes, and man-made fire arising from deliberate erosion or accident. A side effect of wildfire which also threaten inhabitants area in smoke. An average in India every year about nearly 25,000 persons die due to fire and related to cause. Female account for about nearly 66% of those killed in the fire accident. It is estimated that about 42 females and 21 males die every day in India due to fire. Fire safety do's and don't do. Know your building evacuation plan. That is how to exit the building. Evacuate calmly and quickly whenever a fire alarm or carbon monoxide alarm sound. Before opening a door, feel it with the back of your hand. If the door is hot, do not open it. If you are encountered smoke during your evacuation, stay low to the floor. Know the outside rally point for your building. Know the outside rally point for your building. Know the location of fire extinguisher, fire alarm, pull stations, and exist. Things you need to do during a fire. Stay calm. Pull the nearest fire alarm or call 112. That's 1112 to make a call. Give your name and location of the fire station. Do not hang up until the police dispatcher tell you to do so. Leave the building immediately. Inform others as you pass them to leave the building immediately. Walk, don't run to the nearest exit. That is exit. Never use elevator on escalator may become a trap. That is due to failure of the electricity. We cannot stop natural disaster, but we can arm ourselves with knowledge. You may lives wouldn't have to be lost if there was enough disaster preparedness. Thank you, student. Please follow the assignment given in the PDF and prepare well for your OFL examination.